Well, hello there. Another great day to be out and about. And today I've been putting off dealing with this gravely. Today we're going to try to get it started. It was not getting spark, so I'm going to try to figure out why. It could be a bad ground, could be dirty points. Hopefully it's nothing more than that. First thing I'll do is deal with that flat tire. It holds air for a couple of days, and so it's got a slow leak. So we'll start off with that and go from there. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna deal with that flat tire, and for that, I have this handy dandy little Ryobi battery powered inflator. So, as you can see, this tire's in very bad shape. Oh, doesn't have a cap on it either. So, sorry, trying to not get in the way of the camera, but this is not super exciting. This is not super exciting anyway. So, hope you can see that has a little gauge. Right, and you can see it says it's like 20, but it's actually like 18. That's actually a little much. All right, 20 is probably more than I really need to put in here, but it's going to leak down, and I wanted to make sure it did get up and out of the pit there. So yeah. Okay, so all right, at least it holds air. We'll see how long. Like I said, usually that tire will hold air for a couple days. At some point I'll put a tube in it, but that's a pain in the rear that I don't want to deal with right now. So yeah, anyway, let's get started on figuring out the spark problem. Okay, so first things first, let's throw a battery in there. And I got a battery sitting over there that I charged up a few days ago, so hopefully it held a charge. Let's see. Okay. All right, now, because my starter switch is broken, we don't need this right now. Yeah, that's supposed to be for the air cleaner, but worry about that later. Because the starter switch is messed up, I just use this battery cable and we touch it right to the starter and see if we get anything. Yeah. Okay. All right, not much juice in that battery. I think I have another one. We'll try. Okay, so I got another battery. It's not the greatest either, but it's in there. Listen, I know all this is not the right way to do these things, but maybe someday I'll do it the right way. But what I'm having trouble now is getting the actual clutches in there to engage to actually turn the engine over. So what's happening is the starter's spinning and the gear is spinning, but it's not engaging. So watch. So this middle part here should be spinning. It's not engaging. So somebody gave me a tip. Get that. So somebody gave me a tip on my other video about the Gravely here, that I can remove this grease fitting and possibly spray some break free or PB blaster down there and loosen things up, because there's some I forget what they're called, but there's like a clutch, and they swing out with centrifugal force and engage, something like that. And it can be tricky to take apart. The right way to do it is probably take it apart, clean it all out. But I'm gonna see if I can get this off and spray something down in there to loosen things up. So we'll go from there. Okay, so let's see here. First thing I'm going to try to do is just try to get in here with just to clean some of this out so I can hopefully get a socket on there. Use a little carb clean to just clean that out. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. All right, and what the heck, I'll shoot a little PB blaster in there. Okay, so next, let's see if I can find a socket. This being old American iron, should be standard, not metric. Okay, that is 5/16. It seems about right. Let's see. All right. All right. That's pretty loose. That's good. It's not stuck. So, I guess it looks like a grease fitting, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a plug. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get some PB blaster in there and let it soak. What I should also do, let's see if I can get I don't have all my sockets handy here, so I may not have the right one here, but nope. 13, no, that one's even smaller. I'll have to go and get my my bigger sockets. Maybe I can get a socket on here, even a wrench. I mean, I could just spin it keep spinning it with the battery, but yeah, actually it might be easier. It might be best just to spin it with the starter. We'll put this back in. It's probably okay to spin it without it, but since I don't know that for sure, we'll just put it in hand tight. Let's see what happens. Oh, it started to engage, and it's flinging material everywhere because the critters have been in there. Chipmunks. Okay, well, that's engaging better. Okay. I think I'll even put a little more brake for or PB blaster in there. Let's get this. There we go. All right, I'm going to throw a little bit more in there. That really seemed to help quite a bit. So you can probably hear. You can hear the nuts. That's what all that rattling is. It's actually nuts and acorns and all kinds of things the critters have decided to put in there for me. Right, they're being kind, right? They're storing nuts for me for the winter. No, I don't think that's what's happening. All right, let's see here. And the joy of working outdoors. Things lost in the grass. Boy, I'll be thrilled if that works. It seems like it's working great, because that usually gave me a very hard time engaging all the time. So again, it's kind of a It's a nice tip. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Maybe I'll go back later. And it was somebody who put a comment in this previous video on the Gravely. He said to try this. So whatever it is, thank you very much if you see this one. So next step is going to be to pull the spark plug and see if we're getting any spark. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug. I took the leaf blower, which you can see in the background there, and just blew away some of the leaves and looked like mouse fur or chipmunk fur and all the little nuts and nut shells that they have stored in there. Got rid of all that, so I'm going to pull the plug and let's see here. This is an old plug. I don't have a socket deep enough to get on that, and actually this this good old crescent wrench. This wrench is at least 50 years old. I got it out of an old shed 30 years ago, and I think it could have been 50 years old when I got it. But good old American tool, crescent tool, Jamestown, New York, and this thing is as smooth and solid, more than a new tool. It's amazing how the old school American tools are just made so well. Okay, that wasn't very tight. So if you have tools like this, keep them. They're way better than the new tools. If you're at a tag sale or a flea market or something and you see tools like that for cheap, pick them up and keep them. They're just, everything now is made cheap, no matter where it's made, especially if it's overseas. It's just, these old tools are just so much better. I know, I think I had a Craftsman socket years ago when Craftsman was still around. I know it's still around, but it's not the same. When Sears was still around, Craftsman was a pretty decent tool for, at least for a homeowner, you know, shade tree mechanic like myself. You know, mechanics I know that are professionals have things like Snap-on. Well, I can't justify that kind of cost because I don't do this for a living. But yeah, old Craftsman ratchet that I finally somehow broke, and I brought it in. They're like, oh yeah, and they gave me a new one off the shelf, you know, made in China. And I don't mean to not say necessarily everything made in China is bad, but I can tell you that new ratchet was garbage compared to my old one. Okay, so that's not looking fantastic, but it is what it is. We'll see if we can. This is going to be hard to try to find spark because I don't know. Okay. Gosh, I don't know where I have a good place to try to. So it wasn't getting spark a couple months ago, so I'm going to assume it hasn't magically fixed. I don't know if I'm going to get a good contact there or not. But I'm going to assume it hasn't magically fixed itself, but we'll test it and see. Yeah, I don't see anything. Let's try. This is also rusty. I don't know if that's going to really give me a good. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe I ought to try to find a better negative, better place. I just don't know. I don't think it's getting spark. Like I said, it wasn't getting spark a couple months ago. So I do believe I've got either a bad ground or points that are dirty. So, all right. So right here is, I believe this is a ground. This wire, this white wire here, sorry, my big hand's in the way. This white wire here goes down, and it actually goes two places. It goes into the handlebar here, and this goes all the way up. There's actually a kill switch on the end of that handlebar up there. It hasn't worked in years. Usually the way I kill it is there's a kill on the side. This is whatever, I don't know if coil or magneto, whatever you call this. I believe the points are in here inside this box. As you see, this is the battery cable that goes up to the spark plug. And so this is how I would kill it, you know, just by pushing this and grounding it out there. So I think what I'm going to do first is take this off, clean it up, take this off, clean it up, since that's the easiest thing to do. See what happens. I pulled this off. I mean, that looks fine, I guess. Although that does look kind of dirty in there. Maybe I'll clean that up too. Maybe that's just getting bad. Maybe that's corroded in there. So I'm going to start just by cleaning some things up, because getting this cover off is not probably terribly difficult. There's some screws down there that are a little hard to get to just because there's not a lot of room. So that's fun. It looks, you can see this has been off before. It looks like there's some RTV, orange RTV sealant on that. So that's been off before, which tells me if I take it off, there's no gasket. I'm going to have to seal it up again myself too. And all right, got a screwdriver. Threw a little PB blaster in there just to give me a little head start. There it goes. And let's see. And there goes my camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see here. This is, oh, okay, this screw is long because it's part of the box itself. All right, that's why this is so long. Not part of the box, but it's part of what holds the box, the lid, the cover, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, this doesn't seem like the worst, the dirtiest thing ever, but it could be. If that's, yeah, I don't even know if that would have an effect. So next thing I do is, well, I'll have to reposition the camera and get down there with a socket. All right, so let's get in there. All right. It's just fiddly. It's in a weird spot. Yeah, I don't even know if this is really socket. This ratchet is okay. Again, it's a newer Craftsman. Just not as smooth as the old school stuff. But like I said, I'm not gonna go. Sorry, keep knocking the camera around because I'm in my own way. So I guess I'll start by cleaning up these contacts. I don't think that's the problem. I guess I could get this out of the way. Maybe see what this is all about in here. It's just hard to reach my big fingers in there. And I don't know what's in here, so that's wiggling around a little bit, so I'm afraid, like, I don't know. Oh, that's just stubborn, just because there's rust on the threads. Like, I don't, yeah, see, that's going to be a pain to get back in because I got to pull out. Okay. All right, I'll fiddle with that a little bit and we'll come back. Okay, so I cleaned up some of these terminals best I could. Honestly, didn't do the best job. I'm hoping that this was really, I don't know if I can get the camera, if you can see down there, it's shiny now mostly. That was really, really crudded up. I even tried to clean up the plug a bit, and that was pretty gross. Basically, I just just wrapped some sandpaper around a screwdriver and stuffed it down there and trolled it around and cleaned it up. Blew it out. This side, the coil wire looks nice and clean, so we're going to plug that back in. And I even tried to clean up a little spot up here for the end of the plug, but I'll get that set and we'll try it again. Fingers crossed. All right, let's try this again. Don't mind that little brush that's just trying to hold the spark plug in place. Let's see. Oh, it's moving. I'm gonna shock myself. Oh, no spark. Shoot. Okay, well, I think it's time to try to check out the points. Darn it. Okay, so I am trying to get at a screw. This is where the points are. I'm trying to get a screw under here. There's another one here, and I can reach that one. See, I can put this screwdriver through here and get to, try to put the camera where you can see it. I can get to this screw, but this one over here I can't quite get. I'm trying to use this tool here, and I think I might have got it started, but we'll see. I'm sure there's probably a way I could probably undo that coupling and take out bolts underneath, down underneath there, but to take this whole thing right off, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to fiddle around with that screw under there. The other three are easy, but that one, and I think if I do get it out, I may, because even if the screw was longer and the head stuck out here, that you could that I could at least get at it easier with, you know, a tool like this, or maybe even a ratchet. Maybe that's what I should try to get, a little ratchet with a flat head on there. That way, at least if I got it on there, yeah, that's probably the thing to do. Let me try that. All right, so I got this screw out down here by, believe it or not, using this bit and just fiddling around with it, and thankfully it was loose enough I was able to back it out till I was finally able to get the ratchet on it, and it still just took a lot of fiddling. It was very fiddly. Fiddling and fiddly. Now even this one is kind of, I can get at it from, at least I can get at it with a long screwdriver from the other side, but even that one was a little bit of a pain because it comes out partially and then you have to like pull it out. So I had to like basically, as I was screwing it, wedge it out with that. So this one, I had to move the battery. I had to move the battery so I could get the screwdriver in to get this one. I could use a shorter screwdriver, but it was just a lot easier to have that extra space anyway. So this one I've already had out, so it should come out. This one shouldn't be too stuck. I've already had it out once to clean up, try to clean that out. And there we go. Oh, I do have a gasket here, and the case is cracked a little bit. Not too concerned about it. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna have to take a closer look at that. Let me get the light here. I don't know how well the camera, I'm gonna have to get you a better camera angle, I think, but here's the points down here, but the points are underneath down here. So I don't think no matter what camera angle I get you, you're really going to be able to see it well. But I'll give it a whirl. Okay, I'm going to try to get you a good look at these points. Try to be gentle here. I'm sorry, I've got them zoomed in. Those look a little cruddy. I'm worried that that's not really that cruddy. That's the problem. But we're gonna clean them up and see what happens. Okay. Well, I got them cleaned up. I'm not even gonna, but you can see there's a lot of junk. I'm sorry for if the light's flickering. I got an LED light, work light. You can see there's a lot of, well, not with my big fat fingers in the way you can't see anything, but you can see maybe there's some junk that fell, some little white crusty crap that fell out of when I cleaned those points. I did check the gap. I looked it up. I think it's supposed to be about 0.015, and that's about what it is. So I think the gap is okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go, and I checked the gap on the plug. Now the plug, I mean, it could be a bad plug. I mean, I suppose I should have checked that first, but I checked the gap on the plug. I tried to clean that up a bit. I don't know, I may try to clean that up a little bit more. I mean, it could be a bad plug. We'll see. But I think what we're gonna do is put this back together, put the battery to it, and just see if that little bit of cleaning the points helped. Okay, so I think I got it. I tried it and I did see a little bit of spark, so let's fire. I gotta hold this steady, it's leaning against it, so let's see if you can see the spark. All right, whoops. So it's a kind of a weird, not the best spark, but it's spark. So I am going to go ahead and let's see, I don't know if there's any gas in this thing. Nope. You probably can't see, but that is dead empty, which is probably a good thing. So I'm going to just throw a little bit of gas down in the, maybe I'll even cheat, make my life easy and throw a little starting fluid down there. I put the, like I said, I put the thing, this back together. I did not even put that last screw down at the bottom. I may try to replace that screw with something easier to work with, something longer. And but once, if I get it running and I'm confident I don't have to bust back in there, then I'll put it back in. But for now, 3 screws is good enough. So I'm gonna get some starting fluid and I'll see if I can get this thing to pop over. All right, so hopefully this, I've got the world's worst tripod. Hopefully it'll stay put, and I'm going to do the evil deed. Throw a little bit of that down there. I know starting fluid is horrible stuff, but I'm just trying to see if it'll pop off. At least I know if it will pop off, then I know I have something to work with. Like I said, this ran last year, so. All right, let's see what happens. Well, not much. I just need to get some fuel in there. Okay. I'm a little surprised it didn't at least pop off a little bit. Okay. Well, let me put some gas in it and see what happens. All right. Okay, so we're going to take a look down the tank. And so you can see that that tank is pretty clean. Thankfully. I'm sorry, not getting the best angle, but it's clean, definitely clean enough. So we're going to throw some gas in there and see what happens. Okay, well, before I just go throwing gas in it, let's at least, this is pretty gross. You can see the nastiness in there, and you know, I'm sure that this old thing needs, this is an old Tillotson. Oh boy, this is gonna get me trouble. Okay, anyway, I'll clean this out. But this thing has been, it's never given me trouble. I've never had to take this carburetor apart, knock on wood. I probably will this time. But the good news is the gas tank is empty. So let me get this off. Let me get a tool or two. Okay, so this is gross. So let's see what's in there. Destroy some. Oh my goodness. everything's just so stuck. This is what happens when you poor equipment gets left outside. So before I put gas in it, yeah, let's just get this. Here we go. Oh, it's stuck too. Whoop. Okay, well, that went flying. So I couldn't really get to show you what was in there, but it's obviously gross. So you can see some of what came out of there is jelly, gas jelly. Yeah, that's pretty gross. So we'll clean this out. The only saving grace might be that there was no gas in the tank. So what I'll do is I'll make sure the gas valve is shut off, because what I think I'm going to do is put some clean gas in the tank. I'll clean out this bowl and I'll let a little clean gas run. I'll open this up when I get some clean gas in the tank, let a little run out, and then I'll put the bowl back together. So I'll be back. All right, I went and got some gas, and so let's just see what comes out. I'm trying to hold this up, bumping the camera, see what comes out. Okay, that looks nice and clear. So we'll just set that aside. And we'll put the bowl back on. Let's see, I know I should have a screen in there, but I don't have one right now. Let's see how bad this leaks. Pretty bad. Oh, and there's junk coming out, so I'm going to close that up. I don't know if you can see all the junk that just came out, so let's open this up again. Obviously I don't have a good container here to catch this gas, but most of it's just going on my hand and evaporating, so it is what it is. It wouldn't be working on an old engine if you didn't have gas running down your arm. Oh wow, look at that. That's like sand. Ugh. Okay, well, that's fun. So, I'm just gonna clean that out. Wow, that's really something. Look at that. I don't know if the camera's focusing very well, but it's like sand. It's gross. Not what belongs in a carburetor, that's for sure. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see, let me pull this right. Oh, God. It's all over this gasket too, so I'm going to take this off, and it's like barnacles and sand. My goodness. Alright, I got an old milk jug here. Not ideal, but just at least keep it from going. Keep the gas from going all over the ground. So that's not good. Not good for the grass, not good for the environment. So I try to, I mean, you can spill a little bit, but try not to spill all of it. There we go. Alright. The problem is these gaskets get, the ethanol gets on them and the gaskets expand, and I mean it's not even close anymore. What I might do is, good God, that's terrible. Maybe if I put it this way. Maybe if I put it this way, it'll jam up in there enough to not leak like a sieve. I think that's the way I had it before, actually. Okay, yeah, that seems a little bit better. Like I said, I don't mind if it has a little drip. That'll stop eventually. But I can't have it gushing out like it was. Alright. Sometimes you can get gaskets, whether they're rubber or whatever, too. If you let them dry out and they'll shrink up again, or you can even put a, like a hair dryer to it or something. I don't have too much confidence in this, so let's see. Oh. All right. The problem is this thing is supposed to sit flush. And it really doesn't. Well, this is worth a try, I guess. Like I said, I don't mind if it drips a little. I just can't have it pouring out everywhere. Let's try that. Oh, all over my light. That's awesome. I mean, it's literally gushing out like there's no gasket at all. Unbelievable. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sick of this. That's what I'm pretty sick of this. I can't even get the stupid container to sit where I can. We're just gonna crank the crap out of it, and nope. I mean, it's like there's no gasket at all. Well, you know what? There's enough fuel in the bowl that even if I don't put any more in, let's see if it's gonna start. I'll just leave the gas off for now. I mean, if it just fires up enough that I can tell it's firing off, and I'll have to order a gasket, proper gasket. There's supposed to be a filter screen in there too, but that's long gone. So let's see if the choke works. Choke lever is sticky, but it works. So what I'm gonna do is, let me reset the camera, and we're just gonna try to start it even with the gas off. Just hopefully there's enough in the bowl to make it fire. All right, I did shoot a little bit of starting fluid into the carb. It's on choke, and let's see if anything happens. Well, it fired off on the starting fluid at least. Let's give it another shot of that. Well, it's firing. I mean, we've got spark. It's obviously not getting any gas. There's a good chance that carburetor's all clogged up, but okay, well, I'm not gonna kill it I keep putting starting fluid in there. It's now, I don't know if it's actually able to draw gas from the bowl if the gas is off. If it's kind of like a, you know, a vacuum or something where it can't actually draw. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just spilling gas everywhere because of that gasket. Let's see if I can put there. That's a little better. Okay. Well, let me try it one more time. Yeah, the choke is really stuck. Okay. Well, the good news is it has spark, clearly. The bad news is it's not getting gas. That's not a huge surprise. So I've got some work to do with the fuel system. For starters, I need to get that bowl to stop leaking, so I need a proper gasket. I think I might have to put it up for today, and we'll see what happens.